A shocking divulgence has emerged about past South African President Jacob Zuma's confinement on Robben Island, raising issues about his perplexing constrainment under politically endorsed racial isolation. As opposed to Nelson Mandela and other ANC pioneers who were condemned in court before being sent off the shameful prison, Zuma was purportedly detained while never defying a singular charge in court. As demonstrated by insiders, not a single ANC part knows the particular clarification. Zuma was transported off Robben Island. Before he strayed, he was saved in detachment for quite a while in a Pretoria cell, where just politically endorsed racial isolation police moved toward him. During this period, no ANC trailblazers or family members were allowed to see or talk with him. After those 3 months, the politically endorsed racial isolation framework evidently picked, without primer or official charges, to send him to Robben Island, a move that has puzzled various political examiners and history subject matter experts. Unlike other political prisoners, Zuma was supposedly visited essentially by politically endorsed racial isolation cops, raising speculation about the genuine substance of his confinement. Another bend in this unusual segment of Zuma's life happened after his conveyance. As opposed to rejoining with ANC sidekicks or his family in South Africa, he immediately went far away, exiled for good in Swaziland. This move has stimulated speculation that his experience on Robben Island was special, corresponding to that of other ANC pioneers, provoking unanswered requests concerning what truly occurred stealthily. Following these divulgences, online amusement stages have been spilled over with examines. Some acknowledge this is confirmation that Zuma's confinement was significant for a more significant political technique by the politically endorsed racial isolation framework. Others fight that Zuma could have been related to secret errands that stay gathered straight up to the current day. As South Africans search for the real world, one request remains: was Zuma's confinement on Robben Island a secret deal, an inappropriate constrainment, or something fundamentally more noteworthy? The history of Jacob Zuma's involvement in South African politics traces back to a time of immense struggle and oppression under apartheid. Born in 1942, Zuma joined the African National Congress (ANC) at a young age and quickly rose through the ranks, aligning himself with the liberation struggle against apartheid. Unlike other high-profile ANC leaders who faced formal charges and trials before being sent to Robben Island, Zuma's journey to the infamous prison remains clouded in mystery. Many of his contemporaries were tried publicly, found guilty of sabotage or treason, and sentenced to serve time on the island. Zuma, however, was reportedly taken into custody without any formal court proceedings, detained in solitary confinement for months before being transferred to Robben Island. During his time in solitary confinement, he was allegedly kept away from all contact with ANC comrades, family members, or even legal representation. This period of isolation has raised questions about the intentions behind his detention and whether it was part of a broader political strategy to either break his resolve or recruit him for undisclosed purposes. When he was eventually moved to Robben Island, his experience differed significantly from that of other ANC detainees. While Nelson Mandela, Walter Sisulu, and other ANC stalwarts endured grueling conditions, including hard labor and strict prison routines, Zuma was reportedly subjected to a unique form of confinement, with minimal interaction with his comrades. Upon his release from Robben Island, instead of reintegrating into ANC structures within South Africa, Zuma made an unexpected decision to leave the country and seek refuge in Swaziland. This deviation from the norm has fueled speculation about what might have transpired during his detention. Was he subjected to psychological pressure? Was he coerced into agreements that remain undisclosed? The fact that he did not immediately return to the ANC stronghold raises concerns about possible negotiations that could have taken place behind closed doors. In recent times, these revelations have ignited intense debates on social media, with many questioning the authenticity of the ANC's official narrative regarding Zuma's imprisonment. Some believe that his detention was part of a strategic political maneuver by the apartheid government, while others argue that he may have been involved in undisclosed activities that warranted secrecy. The lack of transparency surrounding his time on Robben Island continues to be a contentious issue, as South Africans demand clarity on whether Zuma was a victim of unjust imprisonment or a participant in clandestine dealings that remain hidden to this day. Zuma's later rise in the ANC and eventual presidency have also been marked by controversy. His leadership was fraught with allegations of corruption, state capture, and deep divisions within the ANC. However, his early years in detention and exile played a significant role in shaping his political trajectory. Supporters argue that his resilience during those uncertain times solidified his commitment to the struggle, while critics suggest that the ambiguities surrounding his past cast a shadow over his credibility. As more information surfaces and historians delve deeper into the intricacies of apartheid-era detentions, the question remains, what was the true nature of Zuma's imprisonment on Robben Island? Was he merely another freedom fighter caught in the crosshairs of an oppressive regime, or was there a more complex and undisclosed aspect to his detention? The unfolding discourse around Zuma's past highlights the need for South Africa to confront its historical narratives with honesty and transparency. The demand for answers continues to grow, and until a clearer picture emerges, the mystery of Zuma's time on Robben Island will remain one of the most enigmatic chapters in South Africa's struggle history. Zuma's time on Robben Island remains one of the most enigmatic chapters of his political journey, raising deeper questions about the true nature of his imprisonment. Unlike other ANC leaders who face public trials and sentencing, Zuma's silent transfer to the infamous prison without formal charges has fueled speculation about hidden agreements or covert political maneuvers. The secrecy surrounding his isolation in Pretoria, where only apartheid officials had access to him, suggests that his detention may have involved undisclosed negotiations or intelligence dealings that have yet to come to light. Many political analysts believe that his unique experience on Robben Island set him apart from his comrades, shaping his later political strategies and leadership style in ways that remain largely unexplored. Even after his release, Zuma's decision to avoid returning directly to ANC structures in South Africa and instead seek refuge in Swaziland adds another layer of intrigue. Some argue that he may have been under instructions or pressure from undisclosed forces, while others suggest he was distancing himself from potential political risks. The lack of clear historical records explaining his post-prison choices has only deepened the mystery, leaving South Africans to question whether his time on Robben Island was simply a case of political persecution or if there were greater forces at play behind the scenes.